Cloud. All right. All right. Welcome, you guys. It's great to be here with you. We've had an incredible time with family last couple of days here at Disneyland, and we flew Mackenzie and her family in from Kenya, and Madison from school out in Boston, and just we've had us all together today. Some of you have seen on Facebook, we literally got a family picture with all of us, and everybody was happy in that picture, even the kids. Worked out awesome. And just, it's one of the lifestyles that so many people are wanting, where you get to make those choices, you get to have that quality time and not have to be stressed out about it and not maxing out credit cards and things like that. It really is that lifestyle that people get started with something like network marketing for, because it gives you that lifestyle of freedom. It's still work, but it's an enjoyable work. It's a relationship work. It's very fulfilling. But there are rewards that come with this business model that we've talked about in this last week. And I'm going to share my screen here just as a reminder. So last week, we kind of went over these things here, if you'll remember. The cash flow quadrant, leverage, and how the compensation plan creates leverage. And so there's a few thoughts that I just wanted to share this morning as I was thinking, and then we'll jump into how the cycles work and hit that from several different perspectives, get a few people's different perspectives on it. But I've got some slides made out for that as well that I've used in one-on-one training and team trainings that we've done. I've done them at Super Saturdays, and just really trying to get people to see how this kind of leverage over on the right side of the quadrant, and how this kind of leverage here, where you have a lot of employees working for you in a retail setting, where we talked about how that leverage is created through the cycling. And the cycles are really where the freedom is in Isagenix. It's that 6%. That's the products that are going to be ordered. And when you have enough people on your team, they're being ordered every day. New people are enrolling every day. Auto ships are going out every night while you're asleep. So that's that passive and residual income, and that comes through the 6%. And it's always been the 6% for me. I realized that very quickly, that that's going to allow me to do what me and my family just did this whole week. What we did about a month ago, going to Kenya, going on a safari for almost 2 weeks. And it's just that lifestyle. And then the income that can go so high that it allows you to live in your dream home, drive your dream cars, just pay for these different things that are opportunities for your family that otherwise would just be a dream. It literally makes the dream a reality. And how is it apropos, or how awesome? I mean, what an awesome correlation. Willie, you pointed it out with us taking a picture in the park as an entire family right in front of Walt Disney with Mickey Mouse and the castle behind us, and his dream and his vision that he had for the happiest place on earth. And when it was just all orange groves right here, it was nothing but orange groves right here, all of Disneyland in Anaheim, California. So, just the business model and how it really does give us that opportunity. But it is work. It's a business. I mean, this is a business quadrant. It's still a business. It's not a get rich quick. It's not a winning the lottery. And you have to build skills, and you have to get good at what you do. And so a few things that I just wanted to share. I'm going to read them. I just wrote them this morning as I was thinking, kind of tap into what we're going to talk about today. And I did Healthy Mind and Body this morning, and he's quoting Jim Rohn in the little quote to the left. And Healthy Mind and Body is a program that you could do every morning for 60 days. It's in your website under resources. So he's quoting Jim Rohn. Rod Harrison is, "The few who do are the envy of the many who don't." And I don't really like the word envy, because it's not a high vibration word. I want to be more inclusive and not make people jealous because of the life I live. I want it to be an invitation and hold that out as an example for what's possible, and not just for my life, but for anybody that chooses. So I want to just say that some of you are holding yourselves back because of the unqualified judgments and opinions of others. Let me say that again. Some of you are holding yourselves back and really being bold and really allowing yourself to be seen and to be transparent with what you're learning and what you're seeing and what you're visualizing. Some of you are holding yourselves back because of the unqualified judgments, and opinions of others. So they have a right to their opinions, no question, but are they educated opinions? So no matter how incorrect their opinions are, everybody has a right to an opinion. Bob Proctor said one of the biggest problems in the world is ignorance, right? And so I remember Lenny saying, and I'll probably say it here a little bit later because I know it's going to come up, but it fits right here. What people aren't up on, they're down on. We just want to not feel like people have the upper hand on us as human beings when that ego gets involved. And they just want to feel like they do understand, and they're going to give their uneducated opinion because they don't know. It's an incorrect opinion when you're sharing with others, but not really taking a good look. There are so many people who have incredible reputations in the world that have taken at first they were very skeptic and negative about network marketing. But when they really looked into it, educated themselves, they became promoters. Robert Kiyosaki, Paul Zane-Pilzer, Tim Sells, right? So these incredible people that are business-minded. And once they really took a look, now they had a qualified opinion on network marketing, where before they didn't and they were skeptic. So some of you are holding yourselves back because those people are allowing themselves, or you're allowing their voice to be louder than yours, even though it's incorrect. So if you've been doing the work, if you've been investing the time and learning new things and reevaluating things in the light of these new truths, then you've learned then you've gained this knowledge for yourself, and you have a well thought out opinion that's more accurate and more qualified than the unqualified opinions of others. So you may have been putting in hours and hours, pouring in new principles and ways of seeing things, investing that time in yourself, where those that haven't they're either engaged in just the things that they're currently doing, their jobs and just, their habits and their patterns. They haven't really picked up a new book. Most people haven't, by the way. Less than 50% of people who have a second, like a college degree, some kind of secondary education, after they finish school, less than 50% read a book all the way through after school. So it's a pretty good chance that they're not even picking up a book and learning something new. And so they may be engaged in just things that are wasting a lot of time, being entertained with consequential things that are of no great significance. They're just basically fettering their time away, and just not investing in that progress and that self-development and wanting to move themselves and other people forward. So change takes bold courage. It takes bold, courageous people who see something differently. So like a visionary, people who believe and stick to the convictions they have come to, even when facing those who are uncomfortable with change, or their doubt, or they're skeptical, or maybe they're doubting themselves. So it takes bold, courageous people to stand up and cause this change to happen, that there is a better way. And we're seeing that happen. And you're investing your time right now. You're going to learn some things about business and the blessings that can come to your life and the life of your family because you're investing that time. And don't let those who have unqualified, uneducated decisions, even people who may have a higher degree, like a college degree or maybe a master's or maybe even a PhD, but they haven't, that's a specific or generalized, I don't want to say generalized, it's a specific knowledge where they've really excelled in it, but they understand nothing about leverage. They understand nothing about creating passive residual income. They understand nothing about going to Disneyland or, and not having to worry about making more money while they're at Disneyland than, when they were working or when they were on a safari, right? They understand nothing about that, but you do. And we can institute the change because of the things we know. As a whole, in this evolution in network marketing, I already talked about that, the people that are respected, Paul Zane-Pilzer or Robert Kiyosaki. I mean, Paul Zane-Pilzer won a Nobel Prize for helping out with the economy during the Reagan years. So very qualified people after they learned, where before they were skeptic about it. And then again, going back to what Lenny had taught me very early on, it's a phrase that stuck with me, and it's something that really served to be a reminder to me. And that is, what people aren't up on, they're down on. I don't look at them in a judgmental way. I just come from an educated way where I can continue to maintain my confidence in what I know that I know, and that person just doesn't know it yet. And maybe if they don't want to know right now, it isn't their time right now. But I'm going to find somebody who will allow me to educate and teach the things that I've learned. So just realize for yourself that each hour and week and months, maybe even years that you've already spent, or maybe you're just now beginning to spend, is giving you a knowledge base. It's an education and giving you a right to have a qualified opinion on this specific specialized knowledge, right? And you're using that knowledge now to create and utilize that knowledge to create a better life for yourself, for your family, and ultimately putting your efforts towards building a better world. So just know that. And I think sometimes we don't realize that we're putting all of this time in, and then we have these conversations with Uncle Ben, or John at work, and they don't have a qualified opinion, and it kind of gets us to quiet our voice down, and we don't live life boldly because, other people's louder, unqualified opinions. So just know that you do. You're investing time right now. All right, so anybody want to add anything to that? Good? Okay. All right, so let's go into the cycles and how that creates this kind of leverage on the right side of the quadrant. And we're going to go over the executive as well and the bonuses. Right now we're going to go into the actual 6%, which is the true freedom. All right, so we talked about this already, about hitting consultant. Everybody that is building a business and understands how and how the different dynamics of building the business work in Isagenix knows that this is the key right here for you and for other people on your team. In fact, when you personally enroll, this PE stands for personally enrolled. You personally enrolled this person and you personally enrolled this person, one on the left and one on the right. You only have two teams in Isagenix. I remember Jimmy Smith said God gave you two legs, a left leg and a right leg. Well, Isagenix did the same thing. They gave you a left leg and a right leg. And so PE stands for personally enrolled, and this is the qualified amount of volume, business volume, that you need to be ordering every month, every 30 days. And then they give you 5 days grace period. So if your credit card didn't go through, you're on vacation or something, they're going to give you 5 days grace period to make sure that you get this 100 BV ordered. Otherwise, any volume that you've accrued from your team that's ordering below you will flush out after that 35th day. So you have 30 days to order your product, and then they give you a 5-day grace period. This is so important that when you enroll people, it's so important to, like so many leaders in Isagenix say, get your people paid. Everybody that you personally enrolled who becomes a consultant themselves, you're going to see that in your back office when you look at your tree. You go to enroll and then view downline. And right there under the view downline, before you can see all of the tree, you're going to see who your personal consultants are. And it's going to list them. And if they go into that into that grace period, the 5 days, because somebody didn't order something, either you didn't order something and you've hit that 30-day mark, or this person didn't order something, or this person didn't order something, it will turn red. It'll be telling you, hey, this person who's a consultant in your downline is about to go inactive. They're about to flush their volume. They're about to go unqualified, to not get paid. And any 3 of these people can cause that to happen. So you, again, in your back office, when you go to view, or it's the team tab, and it says view downline, right down at in the middle of the screen before you get to your tree, it's going to show you all of your personally enrolled consultants. And those of you that are executive or director, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because that is key for you staying qualified to get these other big bonuses. I know some people on the team last week, there was a lot of bonuses that got paid out this last week for the executives and the directors. I think somebody in the director pool got $2,700 last week or this week. So again, this is key right here, consultant. Now, Isagenix, just for those of you that may not know this, and this is kind of new, a lot of you probably don't know this, you can have 2 people over here that you personally enrolled that are each ordering 50. that will be your qualified 100 between the two people. They changed that a couple of years ago and just made it easier for you to get to consultant. Let's say one person's ordering 1 bottle of Isagenix, which is about 54 BV. So you had 2 people you personally enrolled on the left. That would be your 100. You've just always got to have, between your personally enrolled, 100 in business volume being ordered every month. It's easier to track it and to maintain it with people just ordering a forever pack, which is a qualified order with 1 person. But if for some reason you're enrolling people with 1 bottle of Isagenix and you personally enrolled them, you could have multiple ones on this side and multiple ones on this side, and it'll still make you a consultant. That was something very nice that Isagenix did for us. They didn't have to do that. It got a lot of people paid, actually, a lot of senior citizens who were enrolling people with just 1 bottle of Isagenix, and they kept enrolling them, but they never hit consultant because nobody was getting 100. And so they lowered it and just made it accumulate to 100. All right. So this is the key right here. And I love what Jimmy Smith says. He taught me this right in the beginning. Auto ship is the glue that holds the compensation plan together. If these people are on auto ship, they're enjoying the products. And thank you, Willie, for posting your ISA pantry, which has grown from a forever pack. Auto ship, if everybody's on auto ship, then everybody's getting paid and everybody's getting healthy. And you're just redirecting your food budget anyway. So if people, say they can't afford it, they don't understand. They need some education. They have an unqualified opinion to say, I can't afford it, because we know you actually save money. All right, auto ship is the glue that holds the compensation plan together. Don't sign people up and say, well, you can turn your auto ship off after the first week. Don't do that. You are negating the whole right side of the quadrant, building that leverage. That is automatic, the beach money. Right? While we were here at Disneyland, we probably made more. I haven't even looked in my website. We probably made more money while we were here than what we spent at Disneyland. All right. Now, consultant gets paid on everyone. I want to show you another view of this. So let me see which slide I have here. Okay. So a consultant gets paid on everyone. So let's say you enroll somebody on the left, person enrolled somebody on the right. If it's going to be, it's up to me. I hear power legs and I want to be on the power leg. I don't want to be this leg or that leg. Any leg can become a power leg depending on who the person is and them getting into action and literally being a worker. When I got in, I wasn't concerned about being on a power leg. In fact, I didn't even know what a power leg meant. I just started building left, right, putting people on the left, putting people on the right, putting people on the left, putting people on the right. If you come into this with the mindset that I want other people to build it for me, you guys, it's just not... Don't come in that way. That's a false and erroneous way of coming in. And I think other network marketing companies set that up as a false assumption that you're going to get rich doing nothing. All right. It's an erroneous way. It's not a qualified opinion, and it just doesn't happen. All right. And the way God works is that you get what you earn, right? But it could be the law of compensation could literally bless you forever because of the principles that are built into it. But there's a principle to work. There is the laborer is worthy of their hire. Okay. And we're evolving in the way that we can build freedom in our lives and move on to greater progress spiritually. And this is why this industry has popped up. It's not a coincidence. Didn't pop up. God inspired people, just like he did the Wright brothers. Okay, so we're building our team here. So this is a pretty good looking organization. It's got some people who are building in it. This person would be getting paid. This person would be getting paid. This person's just starting to get paid if they've enrolled these 2 people. So if they have an inside leg going, that means this person's building. So this would be called an inside. Now, all of this would be called your right leg. There's some terminology that we use that we just think everybody understands. BV, right leg, left leg, inside leg, outside leg. So all of this would, if this is you, all of this is your right team and all of this is your left team. But some of the verbiage is, this would be an inside leg. To you, you would say, let's call this Susie. Susie's building her inside leg and she's building both teams, right? She's building her left team and her right team. But all this volume from these people ordering is going to come up into your right leg. And so we could say, oh, look, Jan, she just put somebody on her inside leg. She's just hit consultant. Maybe she put somebody here we would say to Jan, well, you just need to enroll somebody on your left team, or you need to enroll somebody on your inside leg. You know, they may not necessarily know what inside leg means. So we use left and right team. So Jan enrolled one on her left, she enrolled one on her right, and now she's going to start building and getting paid. This is how we get paid the 6%. You have to build both teams. All right. So there's going to be some more clarity to this as we go along. I also want to say here, this is a higher level understanding, but as your team builds out, in the beginning, you want to be building left, right, left, right, left, right. Don't be enrolling people to people's inside legs. You want to stay to your true outside left, true outside right in the beginning. But this compensation plan is so powerful in creating synergy and creating that leverage. And remember, we want to get our people paid. So we want to make sure that Susie is getting paid, right? The bigger her checks, the happier she is, the more she's going to get engaged, and the more she's going to be bringing in people that are being engaged, because she's going to put more time and effort towards it. So let's say, okay, we can see the left team here, my left team. So this is me. My left team has more people on it. So I need to personally, whenever I personally sponsor somebody, if I continue to go to the outside right, that could be a good move. Let's just say this leg is going off the screen, and there's a lot more people on this leg than there is on Susie's left leg. So Susie has more people on her right. Let's just say it's going down off the screen. So if I continue to follow that principle and roll to the outside left or the outside right, well, I know I don't need them on the left team because there's more people. So then I would go all the way down to the right, under the very bottom person. But that doesn't really necessarily serve Susie. And so what I could say, because I'm partnering up with Susie, she's my business partner, she's building the business, she's proving that she's building the business, and she's, maybe she's even doing it full time now. I could call Susie and say, Susie, I need to enroll somebody. I'm going to put them on my right leg because that's where I need the volume. So I'm going to take my personally enrolled and put them on the right leg. Where do you want me to place them? So now I'm involving Susie in the placement, but I'm going to personally sponsor them as my personally enrolled. And Susie would say, oh my goodness, you would do that? Like, you'll let me put them wherever I want? How can you do that? Like, that's usually the response. Some people say, what do you mean you want me to choose where they go? Well, I need the volume on the right leg, and it doesn't matter where I put them on the right leg, but it matters to Susie. So if she has a whole bunch of volume coming up on the right leg, but she needs more on the left, then she'd say, well, can you put them down on my bottom left? Now, I would go and look and see where Susie wants me to place them, and making sure that I'm going to be putting that person where Susie's actually enrolling people, and there will be people going down under that new enrollment that I'm doing, right? So I want to qualify where Susie wants them to go, but I'm going to let her help me make the decision on where they're placed. She may say, hey, put them on Ron's, down on Ron's bottom inside leg. So then now I'm going to be helping Ron cycle more. I'm going to be helping Susie cycle more, and I'm going to be cycling more with that volume as well. So I just helped out 3 people become extremely happy through where, and if Ron said down on this side, let's say then Jan, Jan, who just became a consultant, gets a brand new person under her. So now I've helped 4 people, Jan, Ron, Susie, and myself. So do you see how I leveraged that enrollment? And I would want to make sure, hey, we let Jan know that, we let Ron know that. Susie obviously knows that because you're already talking with her. That's a leveraged enrollment. It really helped 3 other people become happy that you did that. Okay? Now, some people would say, let's do that for, let's call this Becky. Somebody would say, Becky, you've got like a bunch of people, and I've always known you would be awesome at this. That's why I enrolled you first. And Becky's done nothing, but she is using the products. So then you say, Becky, I'm going to enroll one on your left inside leg right here. Don't do that. It's the biggest mistake where you put them here thinking that that's going to motivate Becky. If this hasn't motivated Becky on her right leg, you enrolling somebody is not going to motivate Becky. And then she's going to ask you, when you're going to enroll the other one on my other side, so I become consultant, right? It's kind of like, I always looked at that as pulling the caterpillar out of the cocoon before it was ready to come out. You will kill it, right? You're doing the work for Becky thinking that it's going to help her, but actually it's disempowering her. She's going to now have this entitlement that you need to enroll more people under her, right? So don't do it. It happens a lot. I say it and people still do it. Here's another thing that happens. Let's say this is you or whoever I'm speaking to, a new associate right here, and they give their person away to this person to get them to consultant. Like, let's go all the way back to here. Your business will fall apart so quickly if you say, okay, I'm going to give the next person, you've enrolled these 2 people, and you now have another person to enroll, and you give it to John, and you let John enroll that person. And then you give John another person so he gets to consultant, so you get your bonus, and John is now a consultant, but John did no work at all. John has no investment in the time and energy and effort that it took. How many people did you have to talk to enroll these 2 people? And you just gave them to John, thinking now John's going to get excited and he's going to start building like crazy. Your business will fall apart so quickly. And I'm just going to tell you, don't do it. I've seen people do it to get to manager, director, to executive. And then all of a sudden people stop ordering, and it's like you're trying to juggle. It's like trying to herd cats, Jim Rohn would say. You just can't do it. Don't do that. Don't give people away. Maybe you want to get the bonus and you realize, okay, well, those people are going to fall off fine, but I got my bonus and now I'm going to start enrolling correctly. That's up to you, right? I'm just educating you that, you start giving people to other people, your business will not get a strong foundation. You want people, and that's the part of the network marketing, is continuing to keep enrolling people until you find those people who are going to enroll their own people and take their business into their own hands, right? And they're working for themselves, but not by themselves. Okay, so you create some great synergy. So this is just some different dynamics. Anybody want to add anything to what I've said here about those different dynamics?
Hey, Dave?
Yeah.
In the chat box, excuse me, I simply put that it needs to be earned. And I love how you qualified that as far as placement. And on different strategy too, just a quick comment. It is so unbelievably powerful when the company, remember Dave, when the company went from you could only bank volume as a consultant to actually banking volume now as an associate on the way to consultant. Some may take 4 years like Laura and Scott, or some may take 5 minutes. But the point is that's such a huge part of the strategy to say, oh, by the way, you now have 10, 20, 30, but, and also it shows the generosity of our company. So yeah. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is right. Remember, Jojo, we had somebody that cycled over 100 times once they went consultant because they've been ordering a lot of product. They consumed a lot of product. And so it stored it away in a holding tank, their own personal volume, you guys. And then like Robert was saying, Jojo was building and I was building. And so there was a bunch of people going under that person. He had thousands of people. So all kinds of volume was accruing because he stayed on auto ship. And Isagenix didn't flush it out at the end of the month. And so once he went consultant, he had a bunch of volume from his own personal orders that was going into a holding tank. Isagenix threw it to this leg, and he cycled 100 times. We kept saying, look, you'll cycle 10 times if you go consultant, and he didn't do it. You'll cycle 30 times if you go consultant. He didn't do it. After over 100 cycles, he finally did it and got paid $5,000 for going consultant. That is the generosity of Isagenix, allowing people to do that. And so, huge point. And I just want to say too, these represent, these silhouettes, here I am just assuming you know what these silhouettes mean. These are all personally enrolled people with their own website. They're ordering products from their home. And they can be customers, and they can also share it with other people, enroll other people. All right, so that's what these represent. And your tree kind of looks like this, but they're boxes with information, which we'll show later. Anybody else want to add anything else there?
I do. I just wanted to say something really quick. If you think of it this way, it's sometimes that you you want to kind of shake people because you go, look, you are holding equity in a business that is building underneath you. So if you have a position in here, even if you aren't building, you've been ordering every single month, or you're holding that position, and there continues to be people who are enrolling underneath you and people are being placed underneath you, you're holding equity in a company that is building. It's like holding stock in someone else's company that's building. You're really not doing anything. It's all building underneath you. So I always encourage people to make sure that they take closer look at what it costs to hold equity in somebody's company. So even for $39 a year, even if you're not ordering to hold equity in that company, you can choose at any point to come back into that if you have kept that active to re-engage yourself. It's such a unique opportunity inside of how this builds that we can re-engage somebody at any point to go, oh my gosh, did you realize you had 500 people under you? They go, how is that even possible? We see it happen all the time, and people just don't realize that now they can really come back in, place an order, and allow themselves to be a part of that group compensation plan, right? So imagine holding stock in someone else's company. You have
and that stock's going up, right? Like it's increasing in value.
Right, every day.
So as more and more people are being enrolled, it's increasing. So this is what it looks like for a lot of customers. So this person's not a consultant. In fact, I should change that. I did a little bit of this right before. Well, we could even say customer, right?
But also, if you think, if you look at how my business runs, like both of my legs come down to a point where they kind of, the outside legs didn't continue to grow, but the inside legs went crazy on both of my legs. So my team kind of goes like this. So we look at the outside left and the outside right, but in every situation, there's going to be different things that happen that steer your direction in a different way based on who's coming in somewhere else. So there's no black and white ever in anybody's businesses, but it's very simple to look at to see where somebody's coming in that's building. And we want to support the people that have their hands up, right?
Yeah. So just to explain this one here, if you're on auto ship and you're ordering that minimum 100 BV, as a customer, is it the first 3 months they'll let you keep banking the volume? Because I know at a certain point now you need to cross over to associate and click that button, and then you can continue to accrue volume forever.
It's 90 days.
90 days as a customer. So what the term power leg means is people above you are enrolling people, and so they're now putting them down on one leg. So this is literally what can happen. This customer's done nothing. They're just in a position of equity. Somebody enrolled them, and then they enrolled another person, then they enrolled another person, and that's coming from the upline. So this is where that term, put me on the power leg. But it's such a deceiving term because a power leg can happen anywhere. And all of a sudden, something happens and everybody jumps over to their left leg because the right leg's now growing. So your left leg right here as a customer could become your power leg if you have people that start enrolling more people than on this right side. So it's such a deceiving term, and it's erroneous in a lot of ways. But there is some truth to it. There are some pros to having people who are building under you. So this person's just using the product. And so if you're on auto ship and 100 BV, there's no breakaways, there's no blocking, there's no drop in percentages that you're getting paid on, there's no flushing of volume. So when this person orders some product, and let's say it's 100 BV, it goes up and it pays everybody, and it holds it in that bank for every single person that's on auto ship and ordering 100 BV, whether they're a customer or an associate or a consultant who's getting actually paid on that BV. So there's 3 people that are getting paid. This person's getting paid because they have a left team and a right team, and we'll explain that in a minute. This person's getting paid because they have a left team and a right team. They're a consultant, and this person isn't. I was going to say, and this person is. So I guess there's really only 2, 1, 2. So people in the downline are making more than people in the upline. And remember, Isagenix pays you on everybody. There isn't any BV that escapes. All right. So I guess there is some BV in TV for the customer. He's watching TV, but he's collecting BV. How generous of the company, right? You usually say there is no BV in TV. But in this case, for the customer, there is BV in TV. All right. So now it doesn't flush. There's no breakaways. You get paid on everybody. So when this person orders some product, it's now shipped to their home. The minute they order it, that volume is going to go up, and it's going to accrue for these people that already had 100 BV. So it's just adding to it. And this is what Jojo was talking about, this position of equity. And now and so there's 19 people here. So let's say they all ordered 100 BV. This person as a customer would have 1900 BV sitting in their right bank, and they could see it. You can log into their website. You can show them how they have that volume. That's money in a savings account. That is real money, you guys. That converts into cash, but you got to know how to get it, right? So we're going to show that next. And again, you know, we get paid a cycle, and we're going to show how that works. And a cycle is 300 and 600, 300 BV on one side and 600 BV on the other side. It pays $54. So we can see they have more than 600 and the 300, but you've got to get 300 from one side and 600 from the other side. So this person makes zero money because they have no left team accruing this 300 in BV. It's called a cycle. So that's the increment that it always is. So even though they have a total of more than 900 in volume sitting here, because 600 and 300 would be 900, they're still not going to get paid because they need 300 coming from the other side. And Isagenix will always take the 600 from the side that has it first. So this person has 3 cycles sitting here as far as the 600 goes, because 600 will go into 19 3 times. But they're not going to get paid it because they're not building the left side. This is why it's important for you as an upline support and CEO to let this person know what's going on, right? Because they have money sitting there. Now they'd have to hit consultant, put one person on this side, and then they would put one person on the right leg to hit consultant. This person would. All right, so now look, this is what JoJo's talking about and how those stocks increase. Like you have stock, well, this person right here just enrolled 2 people and got to consultant. That volume is also going to be put up to here. So that would take them to 2,100 if they both ordered 100. I'm keeping the math simple. It could be any amount of BV, but let's just keep it at 100. So those 2 people enrolled would just take that to 2,100. So more money was just deposited into their savings account. All right, makes sense? All right. So let me go back now to this slide. I want to show you how the cycles work. I'm going to show you in several different views. I'm going to show you how it looks in the real website, but I want to show it here first with this tree that we've been using. So this person got to consultant, and now their organization is building out, okay? So people are being enrolled. Pretty good looking organization there. All right, so we know that we have a right bank and a left bank. All of this is in your back office in your website. You log in and you go to a certain tab and you view your downline. You can see how much volume, how many cycles you've been getting paid. So this person right here just ordered. So if you're not on auto ship, let's say this person quit, it would just skip over them and pay everybody else. So somebody quitting in your downline doesn't affect you with the other people that are under them. And there's no levels. It's just right team and left team. So there's 100 BV in the volume in the bank on the right side. And like I showed earlier, this person ordered. And so it's just going to accrue up. So I showed 2 people's orders. Look how many people got paid on just 2 people's orders. And it doesn't stop with you. It keeps going up all the way back to the company. That's powerful leverage. When you talk about the right side of the quadrant, that's powerful leverage. People are enrolling people and you're getting paid on it, and so are the people above you. All right. So there's 19 people, so there's 1,900. We'll say each one of them ordered 100 BV. So, and they all did it at the same time, let's say. And over here, we have 17 people, and they all ordered 100 BV. So you'd have 1,700. Now we can cycle because we have the 300 on one side and the 600 on the other. In fact, we have more than that. And Isagenix will take the 600 from the side that it can give you the most cycles from. So it's going to take it from this side. 600 could go into 1,900 3 times. 600 could only go into 1,700 2 times, right? So 3 is 18. 3 times 600 is 18. And so we don't have 3 cycles over here, but we do over here. Could we match it with the 300? Yes, because this person's been enrolling people on their left team. So we have the volume there. So it's $54 a cycle. We have 3 cycles sitting here. 3 could go into that 3 times. That's 900. 6 can go into that 3 times. That's 1,800. So you just cycled 3 times off of other people's efforts. That's leverage. So what your website would do is it would subtract the 900, which is the 3 cycles, and it would subtract the 600, which is the 3 cycles, and give you the remaining volume. So let me go through that again. So we have 3 cycles, that's 1800. It's going to subtract the 1800 from the 1900 and the 900 from the 1700, and it will show you that you cycled 3 times, meaning you made $162 so far. So there's 3 things you can see in your website: how many times you've cycled, and what the volume is on your left team and what the volume is on your right team. So we would have in a column 3 for 3 cycles, which means 3 times 54 is $162. Remember, a cycle, every time you hit 300 on one side and 600 on the other side, pays you $54. We just cycled 3 times. Now, look at this. The 600 isn't on the right side anymore, but it is on the left side. This is what makes Isagenix so powerful. 301 millionaires as of yesterday. 301 millionaires. And a lot of it comes from the 6%. So now what's going to happen? What do we need to do to cycle again? For those of you that are new, I just showed you how we cycled and why we cycle. What needs to happen now to cycle again? We have 800 sitting in our left bank, and we have 100 sitting in our right bank. Most people get this right. They say, well, we need another 200 on the right side, which would meet this requirement, 300 on one side and 600 on the other. So you're all ready to cycle on the left side. Nothing needs to happen for you to cycle on the left side. We're just waiting for the right side. So this is where, can't remember what I called her before, but let's go with Becky. Becky enrolls 1 on the left, 1 on the right. Their volume, 100 each, goes up here. Now you have the 300. You just cycled again. And so this 162, which would be a 3 in that column, would turn to a 4. And you now know 4 times 54 is 216. It would subtract the volume, 300 from that side and 600 from that side. And that's your remaining volume. And it calculates that in real time, daily, and pays you weekly. So we get paid every Monday. The pay period goes from Sunday, midnight Eastern time, to Sunday, midnight Eastern time. That's our pay period. And then it pays us on Monday. And you get this email that says, congratulations, you made, and people will be like, how did I make that money? I didn't do anything. No, you did do something. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to add anything right here? Good. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to create customers. First of all, the vast majority of people in my organization are customers who love the products and the simplicity of the products and the way they were introduced, and they keep ordering them. I've been told several times from corporate, I have the highest retention in the company because I've always went with the 100 BV approach. And then when Isagenix came out, now we put that science behind the 100 BV and it took off. So the vast majority of people in my organization are customers. However, we are looking for the people who want to become consultant to help us build our business. For so many good reasons.
Can I add something right there?
Yeah, go ahead.
So is it 82 or 83% of the entire company are just product users? So when you look at that, there's only 17%, excuse me, of the company that are actually going out and sharing and capitalizing on the compensation plan. So if you look at that as a company-wide, that will probably be really similar to what your business looks like. Not saying it has to be. You could have maybe 100% of people that decide to share. But as an average, if you look at 17% of people that you personally enroll that come into your organization are going to be the ones that build, then sometimes that helps us to not feel so bad when somebody decides that they don't want to. You just go, okay, they're part of my 83%.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so
Can you say, Dave?
Yeah, go ahead.
Laura St. John posted something really good. Because you and I were on the phone with Pam, who has this huge organization that Willie's in, right? And she's not even taking the product. Okay, so that volume's flushing, but she's never going to catch Willie, right? So Laura St. John posted this. She said, listen, you're sitting on a little gold mine, whether you want to tap into it now or in the future. And then she said, I give my example. I was a happy closet user for years before I dove in. Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, it's really good. It really helps people to open up. Rather than trying to force them to do the business, you want to inspire people. So the way you connect with this person right here that stopped ordering product altogether just because they got distracted, they got stressed. I mean, life happens, right? And maybe they're not ordering at all, but they have this gold mine under them. Don't try to coerce them and convince them to do it. Inspire them to do it. And Laura's so great at doing that, inspiring people.
Hey, can I tap into that?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. And thanks, Malcolm, for bringing that up. Someone had a really brilliant question, which is why I answered that, saying, you know, how do we encourage people to see, or something like that, the possibilities of what's possible as they're holding this volume. And honestly, even this whole presentation, it is brilliant, but it goes right sometimes over my head. So if you're new here and all these numbers are literally going in 1 year out there, numbers to me are very difficult to comprehend. People's lives changing, very easy for me to comprehend. So I want, every time that Dave, like, I'm so glad you're calling people Becky and all that, because then I picture Becky, like, I'm a very visual person. So I do want to share that story, though, that I was a happy product user for so many years. I think years, maybe close to 4 years. And I called myself a happy closet user because I really didn't have an intention to share. And my enrolling sponsor was very brilliant at calling me, being like, you ready yet? Like, you're sitting on a gold mine. You're ready yet? You're sitting on a gold mine. And I was, again, not a numbers person. So I was like, no, busy opening another gym, busy having another kid, busy doing this or whatever. You know, I always had an excuse. So you really have to identify, you know, what motivates that person. And I'm sure we'll get into that, whether it's this, you know, call or future calls in terms of the business. It wasn't really until I sat next to Ron Reed and he was like, Laura, you know, you should really start planning some future family vacations. And suddenly I got that. And that opened the doors for me to be like, life on vacay, you know, this is actually what I wanted, and equating the money to that. But I sat on a lot of volume, and I didn't even know in the first 6 months how I was making all this money in leadership pools and all this other stuff, because it exploded. So whatever you do, you know, now I have, thanks to the 3x5 cards and stuff, this is on my desk in front of me of like how I want it to grow. But the sooner you release the control and don't push the people, I'm so glad I, you know, came out of my shell when I was ready, because the more you try to control and be bossy over people versus just be boss and be the example, the more they're going to retract if they're not ready. And you might lose them, like when they're the most ripe. So love those examples. Thanks.
Yes, exactly. And I think we're just going to cover the cycles here today because we're running out of time. I'll show the executive, but not how to do it. We'll hit that next week. Go ahead.
No, I just real briefly, you know, Laura's, I'm very grateful Laura and Scott are on our team, but early on, it was a matter of introducing different personalities and stories along with those personalities and different mentors to finally, and they would take a little snippet, a little piece from each one. It helped paint bit by bit the bigger picture, and eventually they stepped in, and then they eventually got the duplication thanks to you. So anyway, just that's a biggest caveat that I would like to add here, is that the numbers are great. Unlike Laura, numbers don't really do it for me, but it's the vision, it's the big why. So there's all kinds of ways that people are inspired, but one of those biggest ways is the stories and the different personalities that you bring into that person's awareness, you know. So
yeah, exactly. And some people are not motivated by money, even though they're sitting on the gold mine. It's not the money that motivates them, and the way that I'm approaching them just isn't working, even though they're at the top of my organization with tens of thousands of people under them. So yeah, it is about connecting with them and finding that, you know, and Carrie does a great job at talking about the different personalities, you know, and temperaments that to connect with these people and help them see that in a way that they need to see it. So, okay. All right, let's go on. Okay.
And Dave, I just want to
quickly, because
I just want to point out, everyone is resisting the impulse to straighten people out. Okay. To jump in there and say, no, you're wrong. You gotta get busy with this business because you're sitting on a gold mine. I think most people are resisting that impulse to do that. And I noticed when I came into the business, I took several months to get going. Okay, you didn't jump in with both feet and say, "Come on, Malcolm, let's get going." You know, you're allowing me to process the whole thing. You know, giving me breathing room, and not telling me I'm stupid for not getting going. Right? Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. Thank you, Malcolm, for that. It's a great point. So, getting into what we really are, like a bigger picture, I would watch Consultant Machine in the back of the foreverpack.com website. The Consultant Machine, like this person here is a Consultant Machine. That means they're working towards their Freedom Day. They're going to get their Freedom Day no matter what. They've made the decision. They're going to do the do, and no matter how long and whatever challenges they have to go through, they're going to get their Freedom Day. When you have a person like that on your left and a person like that on your right, you're done. Not as far as done, like your Freedom Day is insured, because if they are going to get their Freedom Day, this person on the right and this person on the left, if they are going to get their Freedom Day no matter what, then your Freedom Day is totally assured. And that's why you help and work with people. The more you help other people get what they want, you want to start partnering up with this person. And I've always looked at it this way. It doesn't have to be somebody I personally enrolled. And now they use the term, and I've heard other leaders from the stage say this, reach deep down into your organization. This person right here, you may not have enrolled this person right here, but they're ready to run for their Freedom Day. And they need your mentorship. They need somebody in the upline's mentorship to help them do it. And if you're the only one, then they're going to be dependent on you. You're so essential engaging with this person because nobody else in the upline is going to help them, let's just say. So if they're ready to run, even though you didn't personally enroll them, that's your 6%. That's your cycles. That's your passive residual income that this person's going to help you build. And so they're on your left team. You may not even know where they're at on your team as far as the left team goes, but it doesn't matter. They're on your left team, and that's where you need to build, right? So I didn't enroll Malcolm. I work with him a lot. I didn't enroll Willie. I didn't enroll him. I work with Willie a lot. So that's reaching deep, and that's powerful to be a game changer in the world and to build a business. In other companies, Willie would be cut off from my pay. He wouldn't even be in my pay grade, or not my pay grade. He wouldn't even be in my, my ability to work with, because the company's not going to pay me anything that Willie does. Remember, we get paid on everyone. So these Consultant Machines, again, watch the training on Consultant Machines. It was a term that I learned early on. Consultant Machines. You're looking to work with Consultant Machines. You're blessing customers' lives. You never shut the door on them, but you want to be like, let's say these are the only people I enrolled with the squares around them. Those are all my personally enrolleds. All of the Consultant Machines, I didn't enroll any of them. Only ones I enrolled, let's say, are the ones with the squares around them. My Consultant Machine, I didn't enroll, but I'm working with them. Oh, baby, I'm working with them. They're getting my attention. When they call, I don't let them go to voicemail. When they text, I'm texting them right back, because we're creating synergy and for so many different dynamics. In the beginning, it was about me and my family and our finances. But as my vision has grown, it's become more inclusive. So the reasons for me working with Consultant Machines on the level that I do, even though I'm already a 7-figure income earner, is because the vision has grown for me and it's going to make an impact in the world. All right, I want to show you this from one other perspective now. Well, 2 more things here. This is what can happen. Tracy O'Malley's been in for 2 years. The products changed her life. She was destitute. She didn't want to live anymore. And the products changed her life. This is what's possible because of these Consultant Machines and the way the company pays on everybody, the BV. So she said, I had about 1,000 conversations, 90 people personally enrolled, 5 people became top producers. So these became her Consultant Machines out of her personally enrolled. That's really good, you guys. Her biggest month, $126,000 in 2 years, because she had 18,000 people on her team. And Isagenix is paying her 6% on all of their product orders, all the people they're enrolling, and now the bonuses on top of that as an executive. So how does that even happen when she's only enrolled 90 people, 5 are doing the business? People freak out even more when I show them mine and Carrie's. In 10 years, we had a lot of conversations, you guys. I don't want to scare you with how many conversations I've had. It's going to be relative to each person. We enrolled 150 people in 10 years. One consultant machine at that time. One out of the personally enrolled. But we've been getting $90,000 a month passive residual income, month after month after month after month. This is no bonuses. This is just the 6%, you guys. And I would say with the Forever Pack and the simplicity and the shareability of the Forever Pack, that's why I'm in the top, Carrie and I are in the top 25 income earners, and we've never been executive. We've never gotten a bonus for executive. We've hit executive 3 times, but because I'm reaching deep, if I fall out of executive, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to build the 6%, 6%, 6%. So this is just the 6% where Tracy's is going to include the bonuses. So yeah, those bonuses are worth going after. Okay. So, you know, we made $10 million off of the 6%. How many people on our team? Over 300,000. And this is how Cindy, the home health nurse, in 1 year could enroll 25 people and be at $1,000 a week, because there's a lot of people on her team that have shared. Malcolm's in her downline. Willie's in her downline now. Cindy's downline. So she retired in less than 2 years. Okay, so enrolling 25 people can have a domino effect. That's where this consultant machine thing comes in. You want to make sure that people are getting trained up, that they get it, that they have the opportunity to become a consultant machine. That's all I want to do, is give people the opportunity, not convince them, but try to inspire them as to what are the benefits of becoming a consultant machine. All right, so I want to show it to you one other way that's a little more realistic in the website. This is the left team sales for the week, and it's going to be divided in weeks. And we get paid weekly, and then you get paid 1 week in arrear. So the right team volume, left team volume, and your cycles. And so your name goes in your box. Once you have a name in your box, you now have 2 boxes that open up. That's how the software works. And then you would click on this box and you can enroll somebody, and you would click on this box and you can enroll somebody. And so you enrolled Bob and Pam. And now you have 2 people. They ordered 100 PV, personal volume, same thing as BV, personal volume, business volume. I just went consultant, and the new bonus, and their volume's now going to go on the left team, and Pam's is going to go on the right team. My volume is going to go to whichever team is going to help me. So the company will put that holdover. Remember, I talked about that holdover volume. So there's my volume, just went up in there. And I just made, it's not a $50 bonus, it's a $170 bonus. It used to be a $50 bonus for hitting consultant, but it's $170 now. That's huge. That pays for your Forever Pack, right? So now remember the 300 and the 600. So we're not going to give Bob people. We're going to teach Bob and empower Bob and inspire Bob to become a consultant. And Bob does it. He enrolls Joe and Deb. Pam enrolls Tim and Dan, because I've gotten really good at inspiring people. And it's so simple. They're like, it's a no-brainer, right, Willie? So now I have 6 people on my team. They've ordered volume. Joe's goes into the left team. Deb's goes into the left team. I just got a $100 bonus for Bob going consultant because I personally enrolled Bob, and Bob just made $170. Pam does the same thing. Volume goes over there. She gets 170. So there's all the volume from Pam's team. Now I'm at the 300 and the 600. So what the website would do at this time is give you 1 cycle in the cycle column, which is $54, and it would subtract the 300 and subtract the 600. And you also just got paid a total of $620 for reaching manager. Right? That's the new bonus program promotion right now. Do that in your first 60 days and you get $620. And it's also building the cycle. So if everybody just went for the 170, imagine Joe hits the 170, Deb hits 100. Look at what's happening to your volume. This is what's putting you, this is a right side of the quadrant action. Doing this is a total, this is like a huge right side of the business quadrant, the cash flow quadrant that Robert Kiyosaki talks about. This is a total right side of the quadrant action. Congratulations. Now get Joe to be on the right side of the quadrant action. And look what's happening when he enrolls 2 people, more volume. Deb enrolls 2 people, more volume. They just added 4 more people. If they hit their 170, there's another 8 people. There's another 16. Imagine what's happening to the volume here. Now they're on auto ship. So while you're asleep, every month, each person's volume is going to go into your left team or right team. Total right side of the quadrant action. This is powerful, you guys. I hope you understand these cycles now. So when this week's over, boom, it'll show you the cycles you made that week and how much volume on the left team, how much volume on the right team. And as 5 weeks go by, you'll see for each week how much you've been paid and how much volume's going through each team. As a CEO, you want to know that stuff. And it'll also tell you how many people are under each leg. Right under the bottom of their square, it tells you how many people. All right, anybody want to add anything here? I know I'm trying to hurry to get through here. We're not going to hit executive, obviously, and how to get the bonuses, all the money, all the time, which they just paid that out last week. A lot of bonuses on top of the cycle pay. Remember, this takes time. This is a consistent, repetitive action where you're continually helping people to get this, this consultant machine mentality, this freedom, right? So that takes time. But as an executive, you can build up some big bonuses in the beginning while you're building the volume up, all right? Anybody want to add anything? We have some really loud background noise.
Probably me. Hey, everybody's asking for the recording and where you're going to post it. So
same as last time. The first one is at YouTube under Mechanic to Millionaire. We also posted it in all the Facebook groups, Forever University, ISA Team M2M, and Forever Pack. It'll be on my YouTube channel, Mechanic to Millionaire, and eventually we'll get them all in the back end of foreverpack.com once we get a few more weeks under us. But watch the first one, then watch the second one, and just watch them over and over until this really makes sense and you really get it internalized. This is the stuff that makes it so you can't sleep. You become psychologically unemployable because you know that this is up to you. Nobody can stop you from doing, let me go back to this. Nobody can stop you from talking to people and making this happen. That's all within your right and your freedom to do. No boss is going to tell you how many people you can talk to and how you can talk to them and inspire them. This is all, nobody can hold you back on this. I had somebody who made a multiple six-figure income and had never been to a company event. Multiple six-figure income, never been to a company event. All right? So, and they were just afraid of the way people were going to judge them because the way they looked and their appearances, because that's what other companies did. Our company actually interviewed them and put them in a podcast, even though they had never been to a company event. And then finally, Kathy did go to a company event. So anybody else want to add anything? Laura, go ahead.
I just have a favorite one-liner that you shared with me months ago that's stuck in my head that I share with people as they're embarking on the numbers, which is even once you're cycling 5 times, right? I love this line. You said, you're doing everything that the millionaires are doing. We've just learned how to compound it. And that really, I internalize that message and I pass that forward to people because whether you are cycling once, 5 times, whatever it is, if you log in and you're disgruntled, you're going to kind of keep this repetitive stuck thing going on in your life. Whereas if you see what's possible with this, and I'm going to rewatch this myself a bunch of times so let the numbers soak in even more. I really want you to think, are you just compounding these basics? And Dave, that's what you have uncovered for all of us, I think, in a very simple way. At least that has really resonated with myself. So thank you.
I just got chills everywhere. They're even going down my legs. We need to show this. I know we're over, but this is worth it. 1 star is up to 10 to 19 what is 1 star? Up to 19 cycles a week. So 28,000 to 53,000. So when they say 1 star, you're cycling 10 times a week. And you can cycle up to 19 because when you hit 20, you go to 2 star. All right, that's $2,000 a week, just over 2,000. Just do 20 times 54. It's 20 cycles a week, all the way up to 39 cycles a week. So anywhere from 56,000 to 109,000 in passive residual income. We're talking about the 6%. Let's take the bonuses out of it, okay? Let's just go with the cycles right now. 3 star is 40 cycles a week. That's your 6-figure income. That's 2 star is $1,000 a week in cycles. Okay, take the bonuses out of it. I know it says $2,000 in bonuses. It's $1,000 a week up to 39 cycles times 54. I don't know what that is. I just know that 20 cycles a week is right at that $1,000 a week. 3-star is 40 cycles a week. So you go 40 times 54. That's just over $2,000 a week. 40 times $54 a cycle. It's just over $2,000 a week. With the bonuses as executive, I mean, it's huge money that you could be making $112,000 to $165,000 a year. Then you have 4-star. That's 60 cycles a week. I should put a big 60 and a big 40, a big 20, and a big 10. I'll do that for next week as we go into executive, so it's recorded. 5-star is 100 cycles a week. That's $5,000 a week in cycles, 5-star. It takes a jump from 60 cycles to 100 cycles a week. And then it jumps in increments of 50 from there on out. So this would be 150 cycles a week, 6-star. 7-star would be 200 cycles a week. And then 8-star would be 250 cycles a week. Congratulations, you're platinum. You get to go in the platinum room at the events. That should be everybody's goal right there. 200, I'm not going to say should be. That can be everybody's goal right there. To cycle 250 times a week and hit platinum. Okay, now, Emily, somebody unmuted themselves and they're echoing. She put this on her vision board to be a 1-star, which would have been 10 cycles a week. As an executive, she was hitting bonuses, but she said, look, some of you may not believe in vision boards, but I certainly do. And I also believe in putting your goals everywhere so you can see them. You see the notice I'm holding in my hand, this right here? This in my hand is when I first started my business. 1-star would change my life, and it did. It was when I earned approximately $30,000 annual working from home. That's $1,000 a week, then plus the bonuses as an executive. This year was the most challenging yet rewarding year of my life. I gave it all I could when I was 23. I gave it all I could when I was 23 and started this. Every year since then, I've had a new goal. Monetary? Yes. Why? Because it shows how many people we've helped in return, because that's really the only way we can make money in network marketing and in Isagenix. I've always looked at the money as a barometer for how good am I helping people to transfer their lives. I walked into my office here in Minneapolis and noticed that we almost at the next goal of this year, which is $2 million annually, just shy of it. I share this not to impress you, but make you understand the power of visualization, manifestation, and focusing on specific goals. It's so great to know that we're just getting started as well. I share this to help those understand that good things take time and a lot of hard work, but it's so worth it. Now go make your vision board. All right, so you're seeing these 1-star, 2-stars. That's in correlation with the compensation plan and the cycles and the 6%, and we'll hit the bonuses next week. Okay, any last comments from anybody else, and we're going to stop.
Are you able to hear me, Dave?
Yes.
Okay, I know we're already past the hour, and everything was amazing the way you laid it out. Amazing. I just wanted to share really quickly, because looking at everything, and I always remember like when I first started in network marketing, everything looks so simple, and then I like the way Eric Worre kind of describes it as kind of like the lottery mentality, and a lot of us have been taught, and we get programmed to be employees. So something about us and I think humans in general are all just lazy. I may be one of the most laziest, but I'm always looking for the easiest. But I know enough to find now anyway is the simplest and most effective. So I don't have to work so hard, but also get the results that I want. But initially, I had no idea. I just saw the simplicity and how other people were doing it, and I didn't realize that the driving force in my business, whether that happened, was going to be me. And so I love one of the books that I love, and I know you and I have discussed it, and I think it might have been brought up in a couple of calls or whatever. But the slight edge, and so the real tough part. But that's what I love about Forever Pack. It's not even it's the simplest, lightest, You know what I mean? I mean, it's so easy to share. The cost is so low, you know, but ultimately, if we keep working on ourselves, and then 2 words, and I'll leave it at that, you know, I quote from Les Brown was, have patience and be consistent. Have patience and be consistent, because there's so much leverage in being consistent in our personal growth, in our professional skills, and in our business. And I think I might have shared this with you. A mentor of mine, he's been in the industry like 40 years. And we were in New York City, and we're standing in front of the Empire State Building. And I'm from New York, and him and I are looking, and I'm like, isn't this an amazing building? And I'm looking up, and I'm like, look how crazy that is. And he goes, you know what? That's what most people do. They'll look at the structure of the building and you know how incredible it is, but never consider the effort that it took to create a foundation that could build something so miraculous like this. So that, you know, that's what I like. You know, it takes time, you know, to build that foundation. It really takes time, and it takes consistently. And the magic of network marketing, in my humble but accurate opinion, right, Dave, is that anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And I'm part of that living proof. I've never even been to high school. So forget about all of that stuff, you know. And actually today, as an entrepreneur, I believe that that's a blessing, because I got a little less to unravel than people that have all those degrees, you know, that, you know, might work against you. So anyway, thank you for the opportunity, Dave. Amazing training, and thank you to all the leaders. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Guillermo's excited. Guillermo is the only one excited. No, I'm just kidding. Anybody else want to say anything before we jump off? Robert, Jojo? Yeah. All right, let's do an Aussie, you know, yay. Thanks, you guys. So awesome to have you on here. And this will be recorded. It'll be a Mechanic to Millionaire YouTube channel. And you'll see the other one right there at the top if you go there now. So give me probably till tonight to get it up there. And we'll see you next week. Looking forward to it. You guys have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.